What's up, boys? It's the Nostalgic Gaming Channel. Back at it again with some nostalgic gaming content in the form of Age of Mythology, Part 4 of our long-running series, Age of Mythology Long Play. In this episode, we're going to be doing Mission 7, More Bandits, and Mission 8, Bad News. I have a feeling that we're going to get some bad news, and we're going to have to fight some bandits in this one. Let's get going, boys.
This does not look good.
What happened?
Run! More bandits! Bandits!
No, you old fool. We are your own army. We returned from Troy.
Praise Zeus! The soldiers have returned.
Yes. Now what happened here?
After the army sailed for Troy, bandits attacked the city. They took our men hostage. Chiron, too.
Who is Chiron?
He does the bidding of the gods. He said a hero would come to save us.
That does not ease my mind. Perhaps we should go find him, see what he knows about this.
Okay, so this
If you want
mission.
to reach the hostages, I'd suggest the West Road.
Okay, boys, well, this mission here is one of the first no-build segments of the game, where we have to go through and explore without building. If you're familiar with other RTS titles, you'll know these very well. They give you a set army, and you don't control a base, you don't really control any unit production centers, and you have to use what you have to go through and find more troops and reach the end goal here. But this one has a little pseudo twist in it that I think is super cool, right? It allows for different gameplay expression from the players, right? It allows a lot of different one of the things that Age of Mythology does great is allows you different like creative outlets to win the game. They don't force you down, railroad you down one path and kind of keep you in a box. They allow you to do different things here, and that's going to be expressed in here as we get through. And as you see, we're running across some Egyptian mythological units in the widget, right? A giant snake creature with wings that shoots acid. And luckily our heroes can take them down pretty quick because, you know, Arkansas and Ajax are goated with the sauce. This widget stand absolutely no chance against our mighty heroes here. And we want to make sure we explore everything because look, we found a relic. And if I'm not mistaken, that's one that gives us free food over time. And you're going to see why it's important. You might say like, hey, this is a no build mission. Why do we need food? You guys are going to see why.
We are rescued.
Centaurs. Where is the wise man known as Chiron?
Chiron is being held in the bandits' fort on the Acropolis. You'll have to retake the city before you can attempt a rescue.
Okay, so now they give me a large army of centaurs, right?
Help!
Oh, and like I said, the most stressful part, units being chased. So the centaurs, when they use their special ability, what they do, wow, that widget has super long range. What they do is they wind up the arrow and they do like a precision shot so that they don't miss. The only problem is it takes a long time to launch, especially if the enemy's moving. So sometimes your centaurs take some unnecessary damage if the guys are right in front of them, because they're not going to miss if they're right in front of them, right? At least I would hope not. Then they'd be pretty bad archers. But as you can see, we got some more militia trapped here. Militia are pretty much some of the weakest troops you can ever get. This is like one of Poseidon's perks is when your buildings get destroyed, you get a little militia that pops out and defends. And I'm trying to return this relic in there, but little do I know I gotta capture this area first, so I gotta clear it of the enemies. And there's a couple more, like hoplites or militiamen standing around. Easy clap, easy dub. So they're destroying those buildings, and one of the unique twists in this mission that you don't get on a lot of different like build missions is they give you different paths and they give you the ability.
Destroyed almost everything. Not quite everything.
Ooh, another relic.
If we move quickly, we can prevent them from destroying buildings that we can use to fight them. Favor from the gods.
So picking up that relic there gave me a bunch of favor, if you could see. And in addition to that, I have now the ability to access these various buildings to build different troops, right? I already have a pretty substantial army, including a siege weapon, right? Really, in reality, I should have loaded up all the militia into the siege weapon, because that makes it much stronger. Those particular siege weapons basically only do damage when they have people inside of them. Save the donkey! So, like I was saying though, in this mission, they allow you to do different branching paths. As you progress on, you get access to different mythological units, right? Like this, I got access to a Hydra. And you know, as soon as I see a Hydra, I gotta build a Hydra, am I right? Like, I'm not missing out on that opportunity. And here we see another Egyptian myth unit coming in. So we're getting kind of tipped off like, hey, what are all these weird myth units popping up? Like, why are I fighting these things I've never seen before? Why did they capture this town? It's not really adding up, right? And then we see some Egyptian buildings over there, an Egyptian unit production center. So you're kind of tipping yourself off like, what's going on here? Why am I seeing all these strange things that I don't recognize? But it's all gonna make itself clear in a minute here. There's a scorpion man. Oh, I actually like the scorpion man. They have a really like interesting voice when they talk. They talk like wedge. They kind of have like a raspy voice. It's pretty cool. Like, I like the way they did it. It sounds like, if I had to imagine what the Scorpion King by Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson should have sounded like, it was like that, right? Or whatever that movie. I'm pretty sure it was called The Scorpion King with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
The center of the city has been recaptured. Now we can use these buildings.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was, the Scorpion King. Yeah, so now you're getting access to different units and weapons, so you could build your army as you see fit. Of course, being the epic gamer that I am, we're building myth units, right? We're building Hydras. And like I mentioned before, Hydras kind of balance each other out, right? They kind of balance themselves out because they take up a bunch of food and they take up a bunch of space. And if you build too many Hydras, they're not going to be able to be as effective as possible because they're not going to be able to get the kills that they need to grow additional heads. So it's kind of like a self-balancing feature where if you have too many of them, it's not going to allow you to fully utilize the Hydras as needed, you know? But here, I personally like to go around and use the Pegasus and, you know, look at the entire map because every once in a while, the game developers here will put something like kind of unique or maybe like a little Easter egg in that you miss if you're not really paying attention. Like, I love when game developers do that. Like, put little hidden Easter eggs for players that are diligent and check around. Like, anytime I play an RPG game with map exploration and there's a map that's filled in by walking, you better believe I'm 100%ing that bad boy. My foot is gonna, even if I miss a corner inch, my foot is gonna be there and I'm gonna see because I want that 100% vision score, baby. Unlike League of Legends, where my vision score is probably 3 throughout an entire game. Shout out to all my fellow bronzes and silvers. In an RPG game or a map exploration game, I'm getting that 100% bad boy. So see, this is going to be our final portion that we have to recapture, and they're giving us upgraded things as we go on. So you don't want to spend too much money too quick, right? Oh, and I found a gold mine which gave me some additional gold. So in addition to the relic where I'm getting free food, and the shrine which I found that gave me free favor, I'm pretty well set on like resources and troop size. Now I'm gonna need some kind of siege weapon because I'm gonna have to siege a big gate with a bunch of towers. Now I don't know if you guys saw earlier when I clicked on the tower, it gave you the ability to upgrade it. That's probably one of the most useless, pointless upgrades you can get at this point in the game, because literally I would upgrade towers that can't even attack people. I mean, then again, a couple people have flanked me, but the flanking threat has not been significant enough where I need to actually upgrade towers. So don't waste your time and money with that. Just build more Hydras. More Hydras, more Ws. I did a cardinal sin here. I built some cavalry. Cardinal sin of Age of Mythology is building cavalry with the Greeks. Mostly just because I don't like it. I don't mind the chariot archers from the Egyptians. I think those ones are pretty niche.
Good. We've recaptured all but the Acropolis.
And now this is the point where we get the big push, and even then you see some slingers, you see some Egyptian things, and for those that are the uninitiated, you're probably like, wow, I've never seen these units before. Hey, they're coming up.
We need a strong army to siege this Acropolis.
It's kind of like a little precursor, you know? And at this point I maxed out my army, so I can't really build any more siege weapons, but... Oh, look, there's another relic. And they even give you the ability to upgrade your troops here. And if you have too much of one resource, you could buy and sell it. So they kind of give you a little bit of everything. Like, hey, we'll give you the opportunity to... Oh, and they give you a Vault of Wealth. In case you really can't do it on your first try and you need to wait for a long time, eventually you'll get it. So I guess technically there's really no way to fail this mission if you're just patient enough. Granted, that's not the way it's supposed to be played. But hey, you really shouldn't be losing this mission, is what I'm saying. And I try and capture this donkey cart, but it doesn't seem like it wants to... wants to cooperate, so we let it be, because you know what, donkeys, they're not very nice. If you make them mad, if you piss them off, they're not very nice creatures. They're very stubborn. So the best part about having the catapults, oh look, there's another shrine. Give me some more favor. The best part about having the, I think they're called Petropoli, the catapults, is they can attack at such a range that it's not really a problem to just demolish towers or demolish fortresses. The only thing is they're super weak and they're super slow, so if you let your siege weapons get attacked at all, just say goodbye to them. Because there ain't no way they're escaping if you leave them undefended. And in all honesty, even without the Petropoli, with my siege towers and my Hydras, I could have taken down probably this entire fort and base. It's just a nice little reassurance, you know, it's a nice little extra. And then this is one of the jankier god powers, the serpents, which again is another Egyptian god power. It really kind of like stops your troops in its tracks, and they're not very strong. They just kind of meme around your guys, and here's it. Here's a big fight, and this is one of the big problems with this game, and this mission in particular is, as you can see, they just kind of ran into my guys, and my guys got a bunch of free shots on them, right? They really just went to town on the enemy. Look, and some of them are still running. And it looks like now they're targeting my catapults, but it's really they just have bad AI, and they're kind of janky. But as you can see, my guys are just demolishing them. They're crushing them. We had the perfect amount of archers versus melee units versus myth units. In siege, we had the perfect army here just to crush them.
Arcanus, I have awaited your arrival.
Πρόσταγμα.
And we free Chiron. Chiron is a great character. I'm a major fan of Chiron. You guys are going to see why here in a minute. He's wise. He's a centaur man. He's pretty cool.
Thank you for returning the city to us.
You're welcome. We did not find the other prisoners, however.
The bandits were led by a man called Kimsit. He marched the prisoners to the North Road. Those guarding us spoke of putting them to work, building something there.
Ajax, gather our troops. We'll take what stores we have in the ships and whatever these people can offer.
So nice, we were able to set that village free, and I think that's one of the cooler missions that the game has to offer. I think it's a pretty fun one. I'm a big fan of that no build segment, but then they give you the flexibility and option rather than just bombarding you with a bunch of pretty bad units. I think it was very well done, and I'm a fan of that one. But let's move on to the next. More bad news. This is a longer mission, so sit on in, boys. It's gonna take us a while.
Chiron, have you gotten us lost?
Of course not. I've walked this road many times. I've never seen this before, however.
It's recent construction. The cuts on the stones are not weathered. It doesn't look like something your average bandit would build.
Where are the men from Ioklos?
Within, perhaps.
Let's find out. Scout the area and find what resources are available here.
Πρόσταγμα.
Okay, so the trick behind this mission here, the little gimmick is your party's separated into two separate base camps, right? Each base camp has abundance of one or two types of resources. You see they both have tree. The other one has some berries and some food product. Some of them have gold. And you have to work being separated between the two. Combine your armies at some point, which are divided by a giant fortress and wall. And once you get your armies combined, you're supposed to make a final push towards the main base camp and destroy a big fort. So, the land in this mission is super well fortified. They go through and they have people defending pretty much everywhere. There's multiple fortresses, multiple little armies, multiple town centers. And you have to push through all of that. Combine your armies and get to the end.
Plenty of wood in our area.
See, Ajax has no wood over there. But unfortunately for the designers of this mission, there's one major flaw in this. And I don't know if it's an intended feature, if it's a bug, or it's a flaw, or what. But once we upgrade to the next God Age, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about and what the flaw is, and you guys will recognize it. If you guys are fans of Age of Mythology, you probably already know what the flaw is going to be. But at this point, having two separated people, it's kind of hard to defend both bases because they're going to attack both bases, right? And there ain't no way Chiron's killing that. That's going to take him forever, so we're just going to pull him back and defend. So in this, I get to do one of my cheekier tricks that I like doing against the enemies that build walls. If you kill the enemy gate, right, which is by far the weakest point in the enemy defense, right, obviously the gate is much weaker, much easier to kill, and it's the only part that the enemy can actually control, right? They can't just walk through their wall, right? So if you destroy their gate, you're able to build a wall on top of the gate, turn it into a gate, and now you have a fully functional wall controlled by the enemy, which you are the only one with access to. So all you have to do, rather than defending an entire wall, all you have to do is defend the little opening. right? And I want to get my guys out to scout because in my mind, I didn't remember the fortress was there. So I was like, oh, I'm just going to walk my guys and get them back. I'm going to link them up together quick. I'm going to get myself a strong army and I'm going to push forward, right? We're going to make this a nice, quick, decisive victory. Little did I know this was going to take me much longer than I thought. Just based on the sheer amount of like enemies present and whatnot. And as you can see, I'm trying to gather as many resources as possible here while I'm not being attacked. Because I have a pretty strong army on both sides. With Ajax and his army over there defended by towers. Arkantos and his army here with Chiron. I'm not super worried about my defense at this moment. And let's see, as I send to attack, I get attacked by a very small army. And I must have misclicked because Ajax is running around and doing who knows what. And that Minotaur really did not want that Hoplite to live. He had a personal vengeance against him. He said, forget you in particular, and chase him down. As you can see, my scout's not faring too well. But he's doing his job. He's getting us valuable info. So now I get a little depth picture of like, hey, how far are they actually? And there's just a very small hill dividing my two armies. And a giant fortress. Which there's no way I'm going to be able to just run around the fortress because it's going to reach down based on its portion of the hill and rain arrows and death upon my people. So I destroyed a little bit too much of this wall with those guys. They got a little bit too overzealous. But it's okay. We still have a good portion of their wall that's much stronger. And in all honesty, the wall is really more for, you know, we want to keep the enemies out, or we don't want to trap them in because we're the real enemy, you know? We're not trapped in here with them, they're trapped in here with us kind of mentality. And of course, as we're building our wall, they send in a catapult, right? And the catapult just demolishes my basic wall foundation. But luckily, he seems to be targeting something weird. So my units are able to get on top of him really quick and destroy him. And this is how we're gonna circumvent the little gimmick in the game. Picking Apollo and getting the god power underworld, we're able to transport our troops back and forth with ease, right? So in all honesty, if I transported them to Arkantos' side, I really could have just skipped that entire fort area and made a pretty quick push towards the enemy, towards the big fortress at the end. But I don't like to do that. I want to play the game the way it's intended, right? So I don't want to just skip and cheese. If I wanted to skip and cheese, I feel like you guys wouldn't get the full experience, right? So I'm going to play it as the game probably should have been played. So I'm going to make myself some Minotaurs because, again, I love Minotaurs. I feel like they're a super strong myth unit. And they're really good frontline tanky boy. But I also want to... One of my favorite upgrades that Apollo has is that temple, the Sun Temple, where you can heal your units with it. I feel like that one's super strong. Oh man, Arkantos is taking some damage. Arkantos is struggling there. But now we're pumping out some troops. We're getting some serious damage in. We're ready to go. But on this mission, the enemy actually does a pretty decent job of harassing you. Like, this is one of the first missions where the enemy actually gives you some serious harassment, right? So I'm going to gather my troops and I'm going to do a little bit of a push. Let's upgrade my wall here. I probably should be putting some towers outside too, just so that I can get some coverage in case I get attacked. And don't let those villagers slip in with the army by accident. And now all my men are back together. The band's all here, guys. Like when SpongeBob had that chip and the penny and the used napkin. The gang's all here, boys. But with this tiny army and no siege, I can't really do any real damage to the enemy base. Particularly due to the fact that I know there's a fortress waiting for me. So I'm going to have to wait a little bit to get some siege weapons, right? And I have the ability to build a fort. But forts are expensive and they take myth. So we're going to shore up our defenses over there. The only thing that's kind of dangerous about doing that is one single catapult boy can destroy my watchtowers and then my fort. And I wouldn't be able to stop him. And luckily, or no, my biggest fears are realized. I don't even have a gate there yet. They're just gonna destroy my wall. In all honesty, I should have went for that gold mine first. Mostly because there's two of them right there. Prostagma Etimos. And my fort! Oh no! That was my biggest fear realized. That was literally my biggest, that was my nightmare. You guys are witnessing pain. If I was a country right now, I'd be Spain without the S. Because I'm in pain. But hey, they did exactly what I predicted. They were going to send a single catapult boy and kill my fortress from a distance. That's okay. I have enough resources that I could just rebuild it. Yeah, and after I rebuild it, I'll get my siege weapons and I'll be able to pay them back some sweet, sweet revenge. You know what they say about revenge? It's a dish best served by catapults and minotaurs. Not really, but it's still super sweet. Whoever says revenge is not sweet is wrong. Unless, like, you're actually trying to take revenge, then don't do that. I'm not endorsing anything like that. That's bad. The best revenge is to live a good life, right? And make whoever wronged you realize that their actions have no bearing on your life and you moved on. That's the best revenge. I enjoy how in this game, unlike in several RTSs, like you can apply multiple villagers to a building and make it go faster. Whereas in some other RTS games, that's not a possibility. Like I know in StarCraft, like you can't put more than one SCV. And we're gonna pick Hera or are we gonna pick Hephaestus? We're going for Hephaestus, that's my boy. We want those golden colossi. We want those upgrades. We gambled, we haven't upgraded our troops yet. So now we're gonna get the big, big payoff of getting super cheap upgrades. And granted, it has to be workshop upgrades. So upgrades like in the temple, upgrades in the fortress for the siege tanks, they don't count. Like the Oracle upgrade doesn't count. It has to be workshop upgrades. So it's like battle-focused upgrades, right? So let's get our Pegasus out and let's scout the land and make sure that we're not missing any cheeky little things hidden by the developers. And this might be the first mission, if I remember correctly, where we get to see the hero who rides on a Pegasus and gets to jump around. No, I think we've seen it before already. in a previous mission, but I love that guy. That's such a cool design for a hero where he can get around the battlefield very quickly by jumping around on his Pegasus. Like, that's hype. We get hyped when we see him out on the battlefield. So let's take our small army here. And we're going to start wreaking a little bit of havoc on these guys, just so that they don't have time to rebuild their reinforcements and attack me again. Even though I know the fortress is on top, and that's going to be my main objective here, killing it in a minute, I want to take care of their troops here on the bottom side. That way I don't have to worry about defending this bottom side again. In fact, my catapults may even be able, with the right amount of vision, may even be able to hit the fortress from the lower level. I don't think so, but that's always a possibility. And we build our god power of wealth. Upgrade our speed, upgrade our siege weapons. Siege weapons upgrades are goated. Because your siege weapons in and of themselves are extremely fragile. But man, when you need them, and they just crush enemy buildings. There's nothing more panic-inducing, number one, than watching your allied troops get decimated in battle and you have to run to them. But two, is watching your buildings get destroyed by a long-range siege weapon and knowing there's nothing you could do about it. You can't really turtle, because the siege weapons are going to outrange most of your static defenses. So you can't like turtle in your base and hide behind watchtowers and fortresses. When my Petropoli are coming for your buildings, you're going to have to respond. Hey, where's my Arcantos? Did he die? Did I lose him somewhere? Is he still at the temple with the relic? I'm a little concerned because I don't remember where I put him. So those troops that I just built from the fortress are like the Greek specific, like the powerful Greek troop, kind of like the unique troop, I would call it. And it's supposed to be really good against Egyptians, Norse, Atlanteans, Chinese. It's like the counter race troop, or the counter. Yeah, I mean, I guess in this one, it's not really race, not like in StarCraft where it's like, oh, Terran, Protoss, or Zerg, those are totally different races. I guess the different culture unit. And there goes my Minotaur. Get him. Launch him. Launch him off the cliff. So from the high ground here, I'm able to, and because I attacked them and destroyed their fortress, the guys who were initially going to attack me, it looks like they're trying to retreat. Right? Oh no, actually that's a Petropoli attacking my buildings. But most of the main troops retreated. And that catapult wasn't very bright. It got within range of my watchtower, so it's still taking some hits. It's not going to be able to kill it, but... But honestly, a couple... Oh, there's my Arcantos. He's right by my temple. I was going to say, a couple of well-placed hoplites will be able to take care of that catapult. And there we go. There's my my hero, my horsey hero, my horsey boy. Look at him. He's aggressive too. He leaped probably, I would say if we were talking in game, like 20 feet there with his Pegasus. That's pretty impressive. That's my boy. He's my ride or die. Alright, but now let's get our upgrades, and now let's start doing our push towards the end of the game here. Towards the end of the mission. It's still going to be a long way to go because we have a lot of ground to cover here. And there's a lot of enemy defenses. A lot of static defenses here. And as you can see, I didn't kill all their buildings, so they're still able to rebuild a little bit. But not enough to actually threaten me, just enough to be mildly annoying. And the enemies on the upper level are just kind of trolling around, and they're just patrolling. They don't know what to do because they see me attacking their base, so they want to defend it, but they can't get down because they're stuck. So they do the next best thing is just run around in a circle. And let me pump out one of those Colossi boys. Pump out a Colossi. Speaking of Colossi, one of my favorite missions of the entire game is coming up here soon, and I'm not going to spoil it for you, but it involves some rivers, it involves some Colossi. In case if you know, you know, you know? If you know, you know.
Now, mortal, you do not know what you're dealing with.
And Gargarantis tries to intimidate us. You know what makes Gargarantis such a good enemy, right? Not only is he a massive Cyclops, which in and of itself is extremely interesting, because like how often do you have like, I guess sometimes you do, but in a world of like Greeks and Egyptians and Norse and all them, like the common enemy between all these races here, which you guys will find out later, is just a giant Cyclops. Like that's pretty freaking sweet, right? But Gargarantis is no dummy either. Like he's not like just big, bulky, strong boy that, you know, doesn't know what he's doing. Every time you talk to him, or he talks, like he kind of talks in riddles and poems, and he's like an intelligent guy who's working on destroying the world and just gets stopped. Like if it wasn't for Arcantos, the world would be destroyed, right? At this first point here, as we're gonna see. He's got some bigger plans for everybody. He's got some bigger plans. So on this one, I kind of get sloppy, and I split my troops because I want to see what's behind this wall, right? And I want to fully explore, so I kind of split my troops. I end up losing the majority of my army here in a minute. But luckily, I'm able to pump them out pretty quick. In fact, I'm at unit cap already, so let's get myself some more houses. And I can't even build that many more. One of the things that's nice about this game too is anytime you build on an uneven structure, it automatically like levels it out, like visually, and it's just kind of visually like satisfying to see that, in my opinion, because you're just kind of, it's like man conquering nature, you know? It's like with our technology and our hard work and our drive, we're able to just conquer the treacherous, terraneous land here and build as need be. As you can see, there's a gold colossus waiting there for me, so there's got to be something good back there, right? Why would they just put a random gold colossus there? And this is kind of where I started losing some of my troops, because I don't focus fire properly, and then that's a little precursor there, a flying rock.
Καλώς, εισβολή, εισμάχη, εισμάχη. Ναι, λέγε, ναι. Καλώς, εισμάχη. Πρόσταγμα, ορθώς, λέγε.
So my troops are starting to die, and I have them split 50-50. This the stronger portion of my army here, the larger portion, and the other portion is kind of like the range units. So once they get attacked by all these melee units, they start dying, right? Oh, in case you guys don't know, that simple RTS trick that I'm doing is when you right-click and you shift, you can give your guy multiple commands, and they'll follow it in the order of the command that you gave it. Oh, that hero does not want to go down. Come on, champion hoplites. Champion hoplites are literally the strongest hoplites you can get, and that hero is still able to take down almost 2 of my guys. It's a testament to the strength of heroes, right? But don't forget, everyone can be a hero, right? If you stand up for what's right and you do the right thing and you work hard, you could be a hero too. Not in the same traditional sense where I wouldn't take 7 spears to the gut, but you could be a hero just as well. And then I find out it's kind of disappointing. There's just a bunch of colossi over here, and I don't really think there's any way to access them. Get a mana core. Get out of there, catapults. For some reason, my catapults are wilding. They want to run their own program. But my mana core puts in work there for a second, you can see. My mana core destroys that little army there, including the catapult. Oh no, it goes down at the end because they got reinforcements. But my mana core was winning. Kind of a testament to the strength of myth units. Like in this game, if you have just regular human units against myth units, you're gonna lose. You definitely need a hero. And even then, sometimes the heroes struggle a little bit against myth units, but I mean, it depends on the hero and the rank of the myth unit. But myth units are goated. It's my favorite part about this whole game. Hey, Arcantos, I already linked up our forces, just a heads up, in case you didn't know that. Oh, apparently my guys killed the wall. They killed the wall defending me. They didn't know any better. It's not their fault. My Petropoli got a little bit excited. So we're just going to increase our means of production just so that we can win faster now, because the victory has been assured. It's just how fast am I going to be able to win at this point. Prostagma? One of these days I'm going to look up what all these words mean, and I'll give you guys a definition for all of them. That way when you hear these beautiful Greek voices, you know exactly what they're saying. The Colossi have such a deep voice there, and they enunciate the syllables and the words so properly that those are probably my favorite voice lines. And by far the Greek have my favorite voice lines. I mean, everyone has all the different factions have interesting voice lines. I really like how they did that. They make it so unique here. They'll have interesting voice lines, but I think the Greeks are my favorite. Just watch those colossi destroy things. They tank. They crash. They stomp. They destroy colossi. Goated among myth units. In fact, I think the only thing that can reliably stop a colossi is a Medusa. If they can even freeze them. So I just get a little bit greedy and I want extra troops for my push. Not that I even need to build that town center. In fact, it's in a very dangerous open area. But hey, why not? Let's be a little greedy. That's the problem with doing the attack move, is my guys just decided to attack the wall instead of actually fighting and running towards their fellow troops and allies. They're chilling over there in the base in the safety. Oh, my Pegasus hero. He's running pretty low on health. Hey, Cyclops or Minotaur? What do you guys think are better? That's a question of the day here. Cyclops or Minotaur? I personally don't have... I think Cyclopses are cooler. Because I like watching them pick up the screaming people as they toss them. Plus, when you see their giant like club smashing things and you hear the crunch, you're like, wow, that's a pseudo-tank siege unit. But hey, if you guys care, leave a comment below in which one you would rather have. Cyclops or Minotaur. I think I gotta go with Cyclops. Tell me if I'm wrong, and tell me why. Maybe I'll change my opinion. No, but shout out to everybody that's been watching the videos. Love that you guys are getting to enjoy these. I like making them, so it's a beneficial relationship there. You watch, increase the view time for that YouTube algorithm. I enjoy making them. I love it. Thanks, guys. But let's finish off this mission here. We're getting close. We're taking our massive army here. Get over there, Chiron. And we're going to push towards the end. We're even going to bring Little Pig with us. Oh, maybe not. Yeah, every once in a while, a non-combat unit will get into your combat units. And sometimes it'll make it kind of janky. Like, you won't be able to attack move if you have a villager in your combat units. And then it's kind of hard to pull them off. Send in the Colossi. Yeah, my Pegasus hero didn't survive. And the enemy ends up mounting a counterattack. That's interesting. But we have enough troops that I can pump them out. Oh my god. And I forgot that the wall's dead. Get my villagers out of there. No. Escape, villagers. Get to the nearest safe point. And my donkey. Let him cook, boys. Luckily, I have so much unit production here. I do lose my god power there. But I have so much troop production that I'm not really worried. And I'm doing this big push here on the end. Wow, Chiron really rolled that R on the prostagma. I may be wrong. I think he's my favorite voice line now. He rolled that R. Prostagma. I don't think with just a spear you'd be able to take down a stone wall like that, as much as my hoplites would like to try. And there's Heracles. I think they would just repeatedly stab the wall with their spear and no real damage would ever be done.
A hero has fallen.
In fact, I don't even know what would be harder to break the wall with, the spear or the sword. At least the spear you could get some leverage, right? The sword is all arm power. That's the worst sound in the world that
Raise the fortresses to the ground.
Alright, boys. It's time to go in. These men have burned your town. They poisoned your well. Do not allow them to escape without consequences.
A hero has fallen.
You talked about your mom. Don't allow that. Can my guys just walk right through? Yeah, I think they're going to be able to just walk right through the trees. I was gonna say, if not, my catapults will just throw him over the wall and get him.
A hero has fallen.
And we are victorious, boys. We'll watch this little cutscene, and then that's it for this video. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
They rush in red and purple, from the red clouds of the morn, from the temples where the yellow gods shut up their eyes in scorn. I will warn you, this once.
Enough babbling, coward. Come face me. Atlantis does not fear the likes of you.
It should. I have warned you. Continue to pursue me, and I will spare neither you, nor your city, nor your son.
Nani? How does he know about that? And he can call down meteors. Gargarensis is an awesome villain. If you guys couldn't tell, he was speaking in like poems and riddles. Like it's awesome. All right, guys. Well, thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Like I said, I enjoy making these. Don't forget to like and subscribe. It was a great video. We have some great missions coming up next, so don't forget to watch the next one next Sunday. And that's it for me, boys. I will catch you guys on the next one. Thank you. Hey, and don't forget to check out the new project, Fable Friday, in case you guys ever played Lionhead Studios Fable. I'm working on my video editing there, and it's come out fantastic. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure you check that out if you like this video. Thank you, and I'll catch you on the next one.